All right, so we are Texans United for Families, and we're here with the Vigil to stand up for the dignity and freedom of families that are incarcerated here at the CCA Detention Center. It's 400 individuals, 200 of them children, and we have several speakers here who are here to sort of talk about the situation and the circumstances and ways that we can get involved to bring dignity and freedom to the folks who are incarcerated here.
Can you all hear me if I don't use this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use voice projection here. I gotta give you a little background on why I chose to do this walk. On September 28th, I was going to a conference to protest privatization of water in Texas at Trinity University, and I was listening, which I will do, to Sean Hannity on the radio, who was praising Senator, what's his name, Santorini or whatever, for having passed in the Senate the bill to build a wall between us and our neighbors in Mexico. And I was so disturbed. I lived on the border. I live in Del Rio. I live 3 minutes from Acuña. They are our neighbor. It's the other part of town. And I could not conceive of my country building a Berlin Wall between us and our neighbor and dividing our community. So I chose to walk in protest. I didn't know how else as an American I could get a voice heard. So I did something really fanatical. I chose to walk from Laredo to Brownsville, Highway 83, in protest. And what I discovered was the media liked it. And the media actually seized on the opportunity to weigh in on it. We've been listening to Lou Dobbs beat our border up, vilify our border, vilify our border culture, where we get along and try to divide us as nations and as a community. And it worked. It was the bastion, it was the trump card of the hard right, supremacist, racist minority of this country to divide us from our Latin American neighbors. Yep. And they were going to use that to stay in global power. And we walked from October 10th to October 25th, and they could not use the wall. Even Perry, who spent millions of dollars with him up at the border on the Rio Grande, saying this is what my campaign is all about, national security. He backtracked and even last week said, no wall, I'm against the wall. How about that, guys? Yeah. On that walk, I had media people, I had political people, and I had grassroots folks just like you asking me about my opinion on immigration. They also asked me about my opinion about the concentration camps along the border, and I'm going, what? Concentration camps? Yeah, they're called detention centers. There's people in there that have been up to 6 years in there without due process in America. And I was blown away, so I called a couple of immigration attorneys that I know, and one of them is here today, Nina Fantel, with her husband, Brad Rockwell. And I had confirmation, and people kept pointing me to a Barbara Hines. Maybe some of you know about Barbara. And she put me in touch with, where is he, Bob Leibel? And so Bob Leibel told me that there was this group that is concerned about this Hutto thing, that there were children in it. It was confirmed that there were children in a detention center here in Texas, 35 miles from the capital of the state of Texas, which is really capital of the United States. You know, I mean, no, what goes on in Texas goes on in the whole world. The abuses are amplified in Texas. And so I talked with Bob and we networked, and they wanted to do a vigil here. And I said, hell, I'll walk from the Capitol to here. Maybe we can get some media attention. And the hero of the media for me is Diego Munoz. Where is Diego?
Right here.
Anchor man for Univision. And he covered this. Today he is here as an American, not as an objective reporter. It's his passion. That this is so morally wrong. It's so un-American. It's so undemocratic. It's so un-Christian. that we would treat children as prisoners in America.
Amen.
That's got to stop. Now.
Yes.
Now, how many of you know me personally? Okay, that turned out pretty neat. But the most of you don't. But you share what I felt inside of me. I couldn't comprehend an American government, the world power, detaining 200 children here. How much does it cost to educate a child per day? Anybody know?
$4.
To educate a child in the school system, how much?
About $6,000.
A day. No, a day.
No, that's per child.
Tell us.
Per year.
About $30 a day. We're spending $95 a day of Americans' taxpayers' money to detain children as prisoners and have them in cells for 22 hours. That's not American. This is privatized. This is a money laundering entity. There's 3 companies. Corrections Companies of America, Geo Wackenhut, and Halliburton, Kellogg, Brown, and Root. They love it so much. When this was established, Chertoff, the arch villain in this case, wants more of these. He went on record publicly saying so. Go to the Corrections Companies of America website. They'll tell you this is a great financial opportunity. You better
No
get
man's
in
an
the business.
Orange Taylor.
Huh?
No man's an Orange Taylor. That's a concentration camp. That's what that is.
Thank you. It's fascist. It stops today. We're demanding the closure and the release of these people. They're refugees.
Yes.
Nina, what's the name of the attorney, tell me, that wrote the letter to Juan Castillo? John Wee Gibson, attorney, wrote to the Austin Statesman in response to the article, which I'm grateful that came out Thursday. But he said, you called him illegal. He says, I have 2 families in here I represent with parents and children that are legal. They were seized in their homes and they haven't had due process. They're actually legal Americans in here. But they're being deported. It makes Homeland Security look like they're protecting us from terrorism. This is terrorism.
Hey!
Right.
Amen.
A great president, Thomas Jefferson, said, dissension is the ultimate expression of patriotism. We will not tolerate fascism. This is the highest manifestation of fascism in the United States. This is an international case. This should go to the United Nations. I can tell you BBC is tracking this. Everybody knows that this is a secret government privatization partnership to funnel money to certain friends of the administration. They make 20,000 tax dollars a day to house 200 children here. Is there something wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
Look at this facility. There's 3 tiers of a razor wire fence. This is not minimum security. This is not where you put children. This is where you put hardened criminals. Not one of these is a proven criminal. Not one of these has been tried and prosecuted in our courts. What happened to democracy?